The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Every story begins with a spark. In this magical book, word weavers of all stripes and colors come together, sharing their words like sparks, their journeys like stars, their voices like echoes of wonder. Stories that inspire, challenge, and connect us all. Authors reveal the roots of their journeys, the stories behind their
Does
stories.
your personal journey of self-discovery shape the narrative of the book?
Where conversations flow freely, rippling with ideas that connect
very
and
timid,
inspire.
bashful, all the way into adult years. And then God gave me a revelation of what those words mean. And they're all rooted.
Unraveling the mysteries of narratives and discovering wonders
We
waiting
have
within.
Eloquently Barking Anecdotes, Thoughts, and Observation by Roland Jones. So this is an anthology of stories or anecdotes.
The Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 7, where narratives rise, ignite, and flow. Save the dates.
Hello and welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. We are at day 10 and we are on our journey of the faith, the growth, and all kinds of roundtables and authors of the hour. I am Ellie Gazzetta, and my books are One Caregiver's Journey, Generations of Good Food, and La Jornada de un Cuidador, the Spanish version of One Caregiver's Journey. Today, we will be visiting and discussing and sharing the stage with Jill Nypower. Jill is the author of Transmuting Pain into Light, and it's just a delight to be with her. She's from Canada, and it's nice to have someone from the northern parts of our continent. Jill, let's bring Jill on, and Jill, tell us about you. Tell us about Jill. Tell us about what you want to tell us about. Jill is a master in making people think for themselves. That's what Jill is.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ellie. It is a pleasure to be here today. I'm honored to have the author of the hour. Please press that share button and get it out as much as possible, because I want to share my wisdom and my knowledge, my information that I have to uplift you, to inspire you, to help you to elevate, to think differently, to live differently. And today I want to talk about, I actually wrote 4 books. So I don't know, you can't see because I got a screen and background thing, but I got Healing Codes to Enlightenment, which you saw in my commercial. Activation Codes for Full Authenticity and Power. Being Unapologetically You, which I'm kind of talking about today. And Transmuting Pain into Light. And these books, you want to read them in order. These books are my blueprint. They are how I took myself out of darkness, out of sickness, out of exhaustion, and elevated myself, activated my pineal gland, followed God and purpose, and became a new creation. And I allowed myself to take my power back from people on the outside, systems and programs that wanted to keep me stuck, and elevate from patterns and cycles and learn how to break them so I could evolve, so I could adapt, so I could grow and stop living from fear and survival and move into love and thrival. And so this is my story. And so I'm really excited to be here today to talk with you and to share what I've learned. So I can't wait to get into these questions.
I think that's you certainly do. You are a bundle of energy, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to have some of that. Hello, Natalie. So our first question in transmuting pain into light is really, as you just said, rooted in your personal experiences. What moved you to share your truth so openly and so vulnerably in this book?
Well, first of all, I didn't always have this energy. I mean, I always had a lot of energy, but I had a lot of it siphoned, drained. I was out of alignment with myself. And so I wanted to share this to teach people how to go within and learn how to get in alignment with themselves and to learn what works, what doesn't work, what makes me feel good, what doesn't, how to overcome problems and situations and find solutions in stillness and in silence rather than being loud and boastful. You know, learning how to think for myself, learning how to put myself in certain environments and certain places that help elevate me and don't make me feel dimmed or shrunk. And a lot of the time I was around environment with people that lived out a separation, were projecting fear, insecurities upon me. And I was carrying this weight and it was weighing me down and it was making me really sick. And so once I let go of these people and cut those cords, then I was able to elevate. Then I was able to grow. And that's why I wrote my books to you guys, to show you how I did it. So you can be free too. You know, it was all about breaking those systems, breaking the programs, getting out of loops that you don't know that you're in, because we get stuck in patterns that we do every single day. We are on autopilot. We don't realize it. But when we become aware of it, we can break those loops, we can change our patterns, and we can live differently. And that's why I shared my books, because I learned to take my power back. So you can take your power back. Instead of living from fight or flight and fear and worry, you learn how to calm your nervous system, how to get grounded, stable, to be connected with the stillness around you. So the outside noise can't distract you or implant chaos in you, but instead you're grounded. You can see it for what it is. You know what your energy is and what their energy is, and then you have dominion over it. And that's what I've learned to do. And that's what I wrote my books to share with you how to do too.
So you describe pain as something that reveals patterns, which you're talking about, beliefs and illusions. How does awareness become the first step in transforming pain?
That's a big one.
It is a big one, yes.
Pain is the indicator that something's wrong, that something's off, that I'm out of alignment somewhere. So I've had a lot of physical pain in my life, like surgeries, broken neck. I mean, I had tests to have a testimony, but I learned how to face the mirror, face the pain, overcome it, learn, you know, why am I feeling this pain? What is it teaching me about myself? Where do I need to slow down? Where am I pretending or wearing a mask? Or what am I believing that's not the truth really about me, but that I've just believed that someone else said about me, and now I'm stuck in this pattern, into this loop. And so, you know, in the Bible set me free, because there were so many scriptures that said, I am healed by Jesus' stripes. I am wonderfully made. I am the head and not the tail. I am the lender and not the borrower. And I started to be empowered that God gave me a spirit of peace and of a sound mind and not of fear, and learned how to live in abundance and love and joy and see myself being healthy, feeling myself being healthy. And then I was able to project that and manifest that in my reality. But when I was stuck in it, I didn't know. I was listening to the doctors and everyone outside of me, and I was attached to people and places that were pulling me down, making me sick. They were putting negativity in my brain. And when I was listening to that negativity, it was creating a pattern and an inner dialogue that wasn't making me feel very good. So once I recognized that, then I could go within and change that dialogue. And then I could become a new being. I could start reprogramming my mind. I am healthy. I get healthier and sexier every moment of every breath I take. I get more and more beautiful. And I started to just recite these positive affirmations. Like every day you have a ritual. You wake up, you brush your teeth, but I pray. I say, God, remove the illusions. Let me see with clarity. Open my eyes. Show me who's for me. Remove counterfeits, men and women, sheep clothing. Give me strong boundaries. Only bring people in my life that are going to uplift me and pour into me. I'm coming with good intentions, so I command that the universe bring me people with good intentions. And if they don't let them in my energetic field. And I started to create the...
Oh, have we lost Jill? Oh my God, I hope we haven't lost Jill, because this is really interesting. Well, we're here learning about Jill Nypower's transmuting a pain into light. And hopefully, so you know what? Yes, let's take a commercial break, and hopefully the studio can get Jill back. Come back, because we want to hear the rest of what Jill has to say.
Every story begins with a spark. In this magical book, word weavers of all stripes and colors come together, sharing their words like sparks, their journeys like stars, their voices like echoes of wonder. Stories that inspire, challenge, and connect us all. Authors reveal the roots of their journeys, the stories behind their
Does
stories.
your personal journey of self-discovery shape the narrative of the book?
Where conversations flow freely, rippling with ideas that connect
very
and
timid,
inspire.
bashful, all the way into adult years. And then God gave me a revelation of what those words mean. And they're all rooted.
Unraveling the mysteries of narratives and discovering wonders
We
waiting
have
within.
Eloquently Barking, Anecdotes, Thoughts, and Observation by Roland Jones. So this is an anthology of stories or anecdotes.
The Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 7, where narratives rise, ignite, and flow. Save the dates.
Well, we're back. We're back with Jill. Don't do that to me again.
Sorry, I didn't know. If it happens again, I'll just go from my phone. People don't want me to share these messages. Come on, man. I'm speaking
okay,
truth.
so now you got your energy. Let's go on to your third question.
Okay.
You speak about understanding energy as a pathway to peace and clarity, and I personally understand that, Jill.
Mhm.
How do you recognize the energetic patterns that help people break from harmful cycles? There's so much of that in the world that we live in today. How do we recognize the energetic patterns that help people break from harmful cycles?
First of all, you need to decide, I'm going to make a change. I don't want to live this way anymore. I'm done. I'm done being in pain. I'm done being stuck. I'm done accepting the bare minimum. And when you make that decision, now you've given yourself permission to think and to see differently. And so it's like when you get up and you brush your teeth and you go through your day, you do patterns. You do a lot of the same things every day. Catch the things that you're doing. Be like, okay, is brushing my teeth giving me a payoff? Yeah, it's keeping my teeth clean. When I come home after work and I have a glass of wine, is that helping me? Probably not. It's probably draining me. when I get up in the morning and I have breakfast and I go to the gym, does that empower me? Yeah. So it's learning
Yes.
how to change your routine and create patterns that empower you. Like getting up, first thing I pray. I do positive affirmations in the mirror. I go to the gym. I mentally exercise my consciousness to see myself being powerful and to feeling good on the inside so I can project that on the outside. I see a vision in my mind of how I want my day to be. And I allow myself to, today is going to be a great day and I'm going to choose it. And I'm not going to let things on the outside throw me off. If people come at me and they try to poke at me or get a reaction from me, I just recognize it for what it is and I don't react. And instead, I take that energy and I transmute it and then I build with it. And that's what I've learned to do. Before, people would try to, oh, well, you're never going to be anything. You're nothing, right? And then they'd make me feel bad. And then I would get emotional. And then they'd take that emotion I was feeding these people. I don't want to feed people like that. I want to go in nature. I want to feed the environments that fill me up, that fill up my battery. I want to eat salads and healthy foods. I'm not perfect. I like to have fun, but I balance myself. And it's learning your balance. It's learning how to discipline yourself and have consistency with the things that work and let go of things that no longer work, that are keeping you stuck or draining you. So if you have a bad habit, start by cutting back. You don't have to be like, oh, all at once. And if you fall down, don't judge yourself. Don't make it wrong.
Get up
and try again. And it's all about learning what works, what doesn't, and deciding that you're going to make that change and then following through with it. Like maybe once day a week, give yourself permission to eat what you want, drink what you want, do what you want. But then the rest of the day, be disciplined, locked in, focus, whatever works for you, but figuring that out, learning that. And a lot of people don't do that. They just kind of go on autopilot. Whereas when I wake up, I'm intentional every day how my day is going to go. And that makes a huge difference. That goes out into the atmosphere and helps people around me to recalibrate to my frequency because I'm coming with love, joy, abundance, peace. And so that becomes now my atmosphere.
So how do you survive? I'm going to digress from the questions because I'm going to have a conversation with you.
Let's do it.
So how do you digress from the angry world that we live in? How that comes at us constantly. I'm like you. I get up in the morning, I do my meditations, and get myself grounded and connected. I go to the gym. I go to the gym 4 days a week. And that's I go for walks, I go to the gym, I work out in my kitchen, I do whatever I need to do to continue to be active and whole. But we're surrounded in a world of anger and hate right now. How do you pull yourself out of that particular world and how do you not get pulled into that world? I mean, where do you get the boundary and the barrier to keep you from all of the noise that's outside of us, even though we don't want to get into it?
So that's a really great question. It's actually quite simple, but we make it complex. I just stopped feeding it. when it would show up, like say someone would cut me off in traffic, right? I would just be like, and I just keep going. I didn't react. I don't let it affect me. Or if somebody comes to me complaining, I just start laughing. It might be inappropriate a little bit, but I use my energy in a positive way. So I'm not feeding or enabling the negativity. And so also part of my routine is when I pray, I say, God, guide my steps, my actions, my thoughts, my words, my deeds.
Absolutely.
Help me to be in alignment, to listen to you. Take me into the right places and remove the people that aren't for me. And I proved myself within myself by not going around people and communities that were making me feel bad. I just stopped participating. I just turned the other cheek and I walked away. And I started to only put myself in environments and around people that made me feel good, that lifted me up. And if they didn't, and I felt intuitively in my gut that something was off, I just walk away, and I just kept doing that and kept doing that. And I told the universe I'm not accepting less. And now whenever I go, the world around me recalibrates to my frequency because I hold my light, I hold my strength, I hold my intentions. I don't allow myself out of character. I'm not perfect. I have my moments, but I instantly recognize it, and I stay connected to God, to source, so he can guide me. So I am in control of my emotions, my thoughts, and my actions. And that is the key.
So you're a mother. You're a mother of, did you say 4 or 5 kids?
Yeah,
you're
4 kids. They're amazing. Okay. I'm blessed.
So you're a mother. How do you, as a mother, I guess transmute is the word I want to use. How do you make them be like you? How do you distill your positive energies in them, in the worlds that they are growing up in?
So
which is different than the way I grew up. I mean, you know.
I think because I did those changes within me, my kids saw that, and it gave them permission to make those changes. And what happens is, say they have a bad day and they need to vent. Well, I'll listen to them. I'll be present. I'll listen to them. And I don't judge. And I've taught them not to judge themselves, and to be accepting, and to love all parts of themselves, because all parts of themselves is teaching them something, is allowing them to expand, to grow. And when they are complaining, I'll start laughing a lot of the times. And then they start laughing because they're like, yeah, this is kind of funny. Why was I complaining about that? And I try to take my energy and shift it so they can start thinking differently, or see it differently, or not let it be such a big deal. Because sometimes we make little things a big deal, but instead of allowing that, okay, what can I learn from this? Asking those questions. What is this teaching me? Is this making me feel good? Maybe I don't want to feel like that. Maybe I want to focus it on showing up different next time in a positive way that would empower me. And I've taught my kids these types of skills and tools. And now, they want to feel good in their bodies. They want to do that self-love too. They're going to the gym every day. They're doing positive quotes. They're listening to, eating protein and special health diets, and they're loving themselves because they saw their mom do it. And when you see someone else do it and be happy, who else doesn't want to be healthy and happy, right? And so you give them permission, and me just being there for them and providing that peace, that stability, and that groundingness gives them the safe space to grow.
Okay. So transmutation implies change rather than suppression.
Yes.
Now I know the answer to this. I can answer this question to you. I can answer this question. What daily practices help transform negative energy into light? I know the answer to that.
Laughing.
So do you think that laughing is a defense mechanism as opposed to how you transform negative into positive?
I don't think so, because it lightens me up. It when I start laughing, it's not as heavy, and I can recognize it's not a big deal. It's just something happens and we respond. Well, if it's not such a big deal, why am I putting all this heavy negative energy towards it, right? It just is. And learning how to, or if something heavy does happen, acknowledging it. Okay, that happened. That sucked. I don't like the way that made me feel. If I were to have it happen again, how would I see it work in my favor? And I learned to change my mindset to see it differently, to feel it differently, to not allow myself to let those negative thoughts take over, but instead acknowledge it and then shift from it. So I'm still feeling the feelings and acknowledging what's there, but I'm not staying stuck in a pattern or a cycle that is going to take me on a downward spiral. I've learned to recognize it, catch it, and shift from it. And that's the key with transmutation. If people come to me with negative energy, instead of absorbing it, I'm like, no, that's not mine. That's yours. You can take that back. Whatever energy I feel, I'm going to take and I'm going to make a video out about it, or I'm going to write a poem. I'm going to use that energy and channel it in a creative form instead of just giving it back, that same pain body that you tried to give to me. Learning how to do that, recognizing that. And that's all about transmutation, learning how to take energy and use it for the positive instead of feeding that negativity.
Well, I understand that. I mean, I think we have a question here that says, I'm trying to read it. That's the one I'm looking at. Thank you.
How do you start raising
How
your
did you
frequency?
start raising your frequency in daily life?
That's a great question. The first thing I did was I cut a bunch of people off. And that may sound mean and harsh, but the people that were around me were bringing me negativity. They were harming me. They were making me feel sick. And so when I cut those people off and I stopped feeding them because they were taking my positive energy and using it for negativity. Instead, now, okay, I could grow my light again. I could get in touch with myself. I could feel my own energy. I started to do breath exercises. I started to meditate. Because how do you raise your frequency? First of all, you're in fight or flight when you first want to make these changes because you're all in distractions and worried. You have to learn to calm your nervous system. And that's what the key of meditation is. It's not getting a big epiphany out of it. It's learning how to regulate yourself, get calm, get grounded, get clear in your mind again, open your third eye so you're connected with source. So you can clear where you were blocked in your energy so that light can flow through you in all channels of you so you can raise your frequency. If you're afraid all the time, you're carrying a bunch of heavy baggage or emotional energy that you haven't dealt with. And so you have to start feeling those feelings when they come up, acknowledging them and then letting them go. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. You don't have to judge it. Just observe it when it comes up. And you learn to observe it by doing meditation, by walking in nature, by doing things that slow you down, that calm you. Because the more calm and slowed down you are, the more time you have, the more energy comes back into you, and the more you can get done in a day. People are like, I have the same 24 hours as everybody else, but I learned how to use my time wisely. I learned how to do breath work. I learned how to put myself in nature where my battery would be energized, where my chakra points would be opened and clear. And meditation channels that energy up, activates your pineal gland and expands your consciousness so you can live from higher states of consciousness. But you got to learn to first get away from the fear and the distractions and the negativity and start learning how to be calm, going to the gym, making healthier decisions, healthier practices, meditation, breath work, and you'll evolve real fast if you start to do those things. And I tell you how to do it in my book. I teach you how to see the good in the bad. And if you can learn to change your mindset and see how this is working for me and not to me, right, and see it differently, then your whole life changes.
Well, if a reader finishes transmuting with pain into light, they are changed when they finish reading it. What transformations do you hope they experience? I would hope that people would be kinder, and they would learn to smile. They would be kinder. It would be a gentler on themselves because the world tells us to be harsh.
I believe that it will activate them, it will elevate them, and it will open their mindset, crack them open to see what they didn't see before. There's a lot of systems and programs that take your energy that you don't even know that you're stuck in it, or your energy's being siphoned, or you're lost and participating in, maybe even communities that are draining you, that aren't helping you grow or evolve. And so this book really opens your eyes that you are the main character in your life and you can take your power back. And I show you how, and I show you how the systems and programs are lying to you and trying to deceive you or get you caught in consumerism and distractions to take your energy. Once you recognize that, you're going to stop feeding them, and then you're going to have more energy again. So that's why I wrote my books, and they don't like that because, the Matrix wants you to be involved with it. But if you can learn how to rewrite the script the way you want and not play the games that other people want you to play out of fear and scarcity, you have your freedom back. And that's what I did.
Exactly. And that's in, and I will give you an example of what you're talking about. So in my neighborhood, and I didn't notice this until just recently, I would say at Christmas, I noticed it when I went to my first and last neighborhood party. But at Christmas, and I have lived in this neighborhood a long time, and it's very nice. The people are nice. But it dawned on me that there's a lot of cliques. There's a lot of these little people that are together, and they're almost one, they almost speak with the same voice. And when I realized that being out of that situation and not being included and I'm not one to go to coffee and to have lunch and let's go to dinner. I mean, I'm one to, I lived in my book, One Caregiver's Journey. I lived an isolated life for 10 years. So I'm happy alone. I'm happy by myself. I'm happy with me. And I think that how do you in our daily lives where we live, we're all like this. We're all in a situation where if you don't go with the flow, you're just not there. If you don't go with the flow, people don't have any need for you. And it's kind of like, fine. Because then you go to the gym and you find the people that do have their needs. The people who are on the same page with you.
You got to stand your ground, stand in your truth.
Yes.
Not conform, because when you conform, then you're out of alignment. You're not being your truth and you're giving your power away. By me standing in my truth and my integrity, the world had no choice but to recalibrate to me because I raised the standard. I didn't allow myself to be something that I wasn't. I didn't allow myself to let cults and covens siphon my energy or believe a program that wasn't my truth. I believe what God says about me. I know that the kingdom of heaven is within me. I followed what Jesus said. I followed his teachings for freedom. When I was attached to certain people, they weren't doing a lot of internal work. People have problems. and if they're not elevating themselves and I'm attaching myself to them, well, now I'm connected to all their problems and that's weighing me down. So I do spend a lot of time alone and I love being my own energy because I'm connected. I'm connected to nature, to everything around me, and my kids don't even have a lot of friends either because they don't want to be around negativity. We want to be high frequency, feeling good in our bodies, feeling alive, being healthy, feeling happy, and being the real us. We don't want to put on a mask. Putting on a mask is suffocating. Taking off the mask is freedom and being authentic and living in my authenticity. And that's the highest form of vibration and frequency. When you ask about frequency, if you learn to be the real you and not wear a mask and be your truth, you will vibrate so high, the whole world has no choice but to do what you say. Okay,
I'm going to ask the backstage a question. Since we already have had 2 commercials.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Do we want to continue or do we?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Do we want to continue or do we want to have what was supposed to be the original? Let's see what the backstage tells us. Do we want to continue rolling? Here. Last question. I asked the last question. Didn't I?
Let's just keep going.
Yes, I asked the last question. The last question was transmuting light into change, and what inner transformation do you hope that people experience? No, we've had the what?
Okay, I want to say something.
Okay.
So when you stand in your truth and you go against the systems and programs and you don't conform, you're going to have backlash. And you're going to have to expect that. People are going to lie on you, pretend like I've been living a celibate life. People say that I, did whatever for money and lied and said a bunch of crap, but it wasn't true. But you can't feed it. You can't allow it in your brain. You have to recognize that that's just people trying to bring you back down to their level, because they don't want you to be in your power. They don't want you to be the main character in your life. But if you stand your ground, eventually those energies will starve. They will fall away. And you just keep focusing on love, abundance, joy, and your vision, what you want to create. You can't let people on the outside get to you. And that's the hard thing is you might not have support at first, and it might be lonely, but you have to, in order to do that work on yourself, to elevate enough until you can attract those people at the gym that are healthy, that are working on themselves, the right kind of people. But you have to go through that transition where it's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be growing pains. It's going to hurt. But if you stay locked in and you trust yourself and you trust God, he will guide you through it. And then you become the fire.
What you're saying is what we've heard a number of authors say in season 7. Okay, show the question. What question? Pick a question. They want to show us a question. Okay. How do you define enlightenment in a way that feels attainable for everyday life? That's a great question. Thank you. How do you find enlightenment in a way that feels attainable? How do you?
It's your choices every single day. You're either growing or you're shrinking. You're either choosing love or you're choosing fear. So everything you do throughout the day, think before you respond. Think before you act. Take that pause. Is this serving a positive projection in my life? Or is this going to cause me chaos? Or, because whatever energy you put out, you reap what you sow. The world is a mirror. Some people don't want to face the mirror. They want to blame the mirror. They want to make it wrong. But if you face yourself and you integrate even the parts that you don't like and acknowledge that you have those parts, then you have the power. Then you get to choose. But it's in those everyday choices every day. What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? How am I going to feel today? What activities am I going to be engaged with? What is my thinking right now? And learning. And one of the best things you can do is to sit with yourself quiet when you're first starting to slow down and meditate even 5 minutes a day and just take those deep breaths. It'll instantly calm you. Another thing you can do is fill up your sink with cold water and stick your face in it for like 2 minutes, your whole face. That will reset your nervous system. It will calm you. And so there's like little tricks like that you can start to have new practices to help teach you to slow down so you can become aware of what you're thinking. Because once you become aware of your thinking, you merge into awareness. You become unity. And you're no longer in separation and fighting with yourself. You win the war in between your ears. It's all about controlling your mindset and living a life that you choose and not what other people are trying to project onto you.
Okay. Now, we are going to go to another commercial, and we will be back with Jill Nypower. Thank you, Jill.
This is the Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 7. A virtual celebration of narratives that rise, ignite, and flow shaped by every force of life. Storytellers unite to weave tales, sparking imagination, blending voices, and forging bonds that linger beyond the final word. A storyteller steps into the spotlight, sharing their journey, their book's soul, and the magic within.
There's things in our lives.
Some stories set your soul on fire. Others carry you with waves of feeling deep.
So I was used to eating healthy, fresh.
There are tales that ground you rich in tradition, anchored in truth.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
And some just take flight playful, dreamy, defying gravity. Oops! That was loud, but so are these stories. Bold, awakening, brilliant.
For you.
This is not just a book fair, it's a universe of storytellers, creators and readers discovering the power of narrative together. Join the Festival of Storytellers Chapter 7 today. Share your voice, discover new worlds, and be part of a story bigger than any one book.
Thank you. And we're back again with Jill Nightpower, and we're going to move on to the next segment, Jill. So in this,
I want to see something really quick. I'm really excited.
Quick.
Okay. So there's two groups of people always. You're going to have happiness haters and you're going to have high frequency people. High frequency people have morals and live in integrity. Low frequency people need a supply like high frequency people because they aren't honest with themselves. And so they need you to be out of an alignment so they can take energy from you. But if you learn how to calm your nervous system and get grounded and regulated, it's very hard for somebody on a low frequency to influence you in a negative way or try to get energy from you or control you or manipulate you, because you have clarity, you're grounded, you're clear, you're stable in your mindset. But it's recognizing when you're in these environments, that are keeping you stuck and always like on eggshells. It's until you remove yourself, then you can grow your light back again. But never take shortcuts or sacrifice your integrity, because you just have to recognize that this is happening and learn how to, because your peace will expose their instability. Your clarity removes the influence from others. Your discernment, when you act and pause, you walk away from, anything that's out of alignment, that's trying to bring you chaos. You're not accepting it anymore because you can see it for what it is. But until you get calm and grounded, you're kind of stuck in that fight or flight. So it's easier for people to kind of just take your energy and control you. But once you take your power back, then it's really hard for them to, and then you win. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the, thank you. We're going to go to the, wow. We're going to go to the unquote segment of this author of the hour now, which I'm going to try to rein her in. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to let her go. We're going to give you the quotes, and they will resonate personally as to how you relate to the themes and messages in the book. The first one that's on the screen reflects the book's core belief that pain is a signal and not a sentence. Rather than viewing suffering as something to endure, to escape, Jill frames pain as an awakening force that invites awareness, growth, and transformation. Take it away, sister. Pain is not here to punish you. It is here to awaken you.
And that's the thing. You have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when you have pain, you have to recognize that you're out of alignment. Who are you attached to? Who are you around that's maybe making you feel sick and tired? What are you listening to? What are you ingesting in your body? And so for me, it was all about, God, take over. Show me where I'm out of alignment. Show me what I need to learn from this pain. Asking those questions, looking deep within so you can free yourself of that pain or work through it or breathe through it or feel the feelings. What emotion am I bearing that I'm not feeling, that I'm not acknowledging? Really learning about yourself. We spend so much time doing things in the world, but we don't invest in ourselves. When you learn about who you are, that's how you grow your power, is learning how to live with coherence, how to live with oneness with the universe instead of always chasing. I don't chase, I attract. Things come to me because I stay in alignment.
Okay, let's put the next quote up. Pain becomes lighter the moment it is understood. This particular quote resonates to the central theme of transmuting pain into light, and it highlights the awareness as a turning point in healing. When pain is named and understood, it loses its grip and can be consciously transformed rather than unconsciously repeated. Your space, my dear.
Okay, so I guess what all that's really telling me is to expand, to heal, to overcome. Every test becomes a testimony. But are we facing our pain? What is it teaching me about myself? What is the truth here? Is this even my pain? Is this someone else's? You know, what? Like I said, it's like going back to that first one, reflecting who's in my environment. Who am I around? What am I feeding? What am I thinking about? Instead, when I have pain, I go, okay, I can burn this loop. I can see myself being clear in this area, breathing good and moving it around and feeling great. And the more I would focus on that and feel the feelings like I was already healed, the more that would project and become my reality. But if I stayed focused on the pain, then I would stay stuck. So I'd have to look for the solution. How would it feel if I had no pain? What would that feel like? And allow myself to go there.
But is this physical pain or emotional pain, or is it both?
It can be both. You know, emotional pain, I just cry. I, out of the blue, will have emotion come at me and I'll cry. I'll just feel it. I might not even know exactly why I'm crying, but as soon as I feel it, let it come up and release it, I'm lighter in my body. I'm elevated. It's when I fight crying or the feelings, then I suppress it and then it gets stuck in my body and it's added weight to me. So it's really important that we learn to acknowledge our feelings and feel the feelings. They're not right or wrong. Do not judge them. Allow them to be, but don't let yourself stay stuck in them. Feel them, let them go, and then focus on how you want to feel. Don't allow it to be your whole reality.
Okay, let's put the third question up. Awareness is the doorway where pain begins to dissolve. Why does this resonate? This quote captures the foundation of the book's healing philosophy. Awareness allows readers to move from reaction to response, breaking the cycles of pain, opening space for emotional intelligence, peace, and empowerment. Jill?
So awareness is coming home to yourself. It's when you go in nature and you see the harmony and the peace around you, that stillness is the bigger part of you. It's learning to connect with the space in between, to come home to your heart, to choose love and not fear. It's when we are not aware of the environments we're in and we're around people complaining and blaming people. Well, now we're absorbing that negativity. That's going to add to our pain. That's not going to give us clarity and awareness. That's going to sink us and make us feel heavy. But if I recognize, oh, I don't want to be around these people. I don't want this conversation. I want to focus on feeling light and positive and happy and healthy. And I give myself permission and allow myself to change the people that I'm around, the conversations that I'm having, the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm eating, then I can get a different result. You got to do something different in order to get a different result. And by meditating, that helps you to merge into the stillness, the silence, which is who you really are. But we run from ourselves because we're so powerful, we're scared of it. But if you learn to sit with yourself, you can just discover how your power is there to protect you and to teach you and to bring you back home to oneness.
Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on to behind the chapter. Okay, in this segment, we're going to flash a picture on the screen. and that takes place in your book. Can we let's put the first picture up. This is a beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful picture.
I love this picture.
Oh, I do. Yes, it's a beautiful picture.
I love it because it
chapter 1. Okay, so this is pain is the messenger and not a punishment. And this is the early foundation of understanding pain.
So for me, when I look at it, I take off the mask. A lot of the times we negotiate with shadows, or we negotiate, our standards, our morals, our integrity. And so we maybe live a half truth, and then we put a mask on. And so then we're not being true to ourselves, and we're burying ourselves. Whereas if we can just be honest about how we feel and how we think, we can free ourselves. See, the subconscious mind is always honest. Yes. And us as human and our identity, we want to be kind and nice. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. But even when we speak with somebody and we use but, that's the subconscious mind having the truth come out, because the subconscious mind doesn't lie. And so through micro expressions, we can really see where we're, trying to hide from ourselves. Stop hiding from ourselves, allow ourselves to be seen, acknowledge the good and the bad, integrate it so we're not abandoning ourselves, and then we get free because we're already whole. The problem is people told us we were wrong and bad if we thought like that, if we did that, if we looked at ourselves that way. But instead, if we can say, okay, I created this to protect myself, it's teaching me something about myself. What is it teaching me? And look at your darkness and face it and thank it for protecting me at a time where I didn't know any better. Then we're free of it. It's when we push it away that it keeps yelling at us, because it says, hey, look at me, you're ignoring me. So we have to acknowledge all the different parts of ourselves and take off those masks and stop running and hiding. Be real.
Let's bring up the second one. Jill, we've got a ton of questions coming in.
I know.
We have 120 views following us right now, and from the questions,
worldwide.
From the questions, yes, ma'am. It's an international book event. This particular photo is the detachment as a healthy aspect of self-care. Mm-hmm. And tell us about, again, how to let go of the systems and the programs and the relationships that
it's hard.
Why detachment as clarity, and it's not always cold to bring yourself away.
It's hard to let go of what we know. The human body wants to be comfortable. We know what we know, and learning what we don't know is scary. We don't know the unknown. It's hard to trust something you can't see. But when you're feeling a certain way and it's not empowering you and it's making you feel bad, why are you staying around those people and those places? That was the key for me. Like, I had to lose a lot of family, a lot of close people I knew, but they were hurting me. They were disrespecting me. They were putting me down. They weren't coming correct or respecting my boundaries. And so by me cutting them off, it wasn't being cold. I just stopped enabling their behavior. And I stood as the standard of how to teach myself. I taught myself how to teach myself what I would put up with and what I wouldn't. And that was not abandoning myself. You think it's cold when you let people go, but you're letting people go so you can shine bright, to give your energy to the right people that will appreciate it, that will pour back into you. So you can give, not be just giving to people that want to drain you, make you feel bad. Why would I feed those type of people? So it's learning how to love yourself by choosing yourself. The world doesn't expect you to choose yourself. It puts all of this menu outside to keep you busy, to keep you connected with it. But when you let go and you pull your energy back, then you can learn what's the truth of you and what their energy is and what your energy is. And then you can set those boundaries. You can say what you want to feed, what fills up your heart, what fills your spirit, what depletes you. And then you can make those conscious choices instead of being so in fight or flight, you're just doing whatever and you're lost. This way, you pull back, you get in touch with yourself, you start to love yourself, and you let go of people that are hurting you. And that's how you win.
That's why you consider boundaries as acts of love. That was our next picture is boundaries are acts of self-love. And that's a tool for preserving your energy and your peace. Yes. Yes.
Here's the thing. Peace is the priority. If I am staying peaceful, I am helping the whole world, and I'm giving the whole world permission to be peaceful. When I'm feeding chaos, all I'm doing is growing chaos. If I'm such a light and such a power, I want to channel my energy to people to help them shine their light. I want our lights to attach and grow. I don't want to be dimmed. I don't want to feed people that want to hurt us. That's not fair. You know, people that function out of deceit and shadows that don't want to face the mirror, I hold them accountable, and they hate that, but I don't care. I stand for justice and truth because I deserve peace, and so do you. Do not negotiate it. And if they bring you peace, how much better would the world be?
Okay. So number 4, I'm trying to, there's number 4. I'm getting a message, but I'm not getting the whole,
okay. That's okay. I'll just quickly say, you know,
no, pain is a messenger and not a punishment. No, we still have a few more minutes to get through 2 more questions. So you've talked about pain as the messenger and not as punishment, and becoming someone new. I mean, just the healing. The pain is the healing piece. Maybe the healing from the pain.
Yeah, facing it, acknowledging it, and not running from it, and making different choices. And for me, it was about I expect better. I am not going to allow myself to settle for less. I am going to find the solution. I am going to find the way out. I expect better, so I receive better. I assume the reality I want to live in, not what people tell me I should live in. And that's the key. People will tell you, you need to take this, you need to do this, you need to do that. But that's their truth. That's not your truth. You have to find out, this pain is working for me, not to me. It's telling me I need to rest. It's telling me I need to eat healthier. It's telling me I need to slow down. You know, like there's so many things that pain taught me. I lived with a lot of physical pain. I had a broken neck. I had, you know, emotional abuse. People would purposely put me in emotional chaos to try to siphon my energy. I had to learn how to navigate that and regulate my nervous system on my own. But because I did that, now I'm able to share with you and how I worked through the pain and raised above it. And when you rise above it, you disconnect from the hive, collective, low frequency mind, and you're sovereign and you have your freedom.
Well, I want to say this has been, I mean, this has been something.
I'm a in-depth person. But I'm no filter. You get what
you are who you are. You are who you are. And that's the beauty of the Festival of Storytellers as a virtual environment. The comments have been coming in. And
so here's the thing.
And one of them is we learn for a lifetime. We learn for
always.
a lifetime. And we have to learn.
Learning.
Shirley has said we learn for a lifetime, and we have to learn, Jill, to do what's best for us. We have to learn to do what's best for us and not being pulled and empowered by everybody else around us.
But stop looking outside of yourself. That's the key. Stop looking to other people. What is the truth for me? Go into your own heart and ask those questions. You can find my books, www.jillnypower.com, JILLNY-power.com. And I'm also on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can email me at jillnypower@gmail.com. I do personal coaching. I am particular with my clients. But you can, if you want, you can try for that. And also, I'm all over the internet. If you put my name in, I have tons of free podcasts out there. I'm on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I've been on billboards, on TV, Global TV Network, worked with I've been like all over. So you can find a lot of resources that I teach you and I direct you and I implant inside of you to activate you so you can start living differently and see differently and allow your consciousness to grow in a positive way and elevate. And so, yeah, you go check that out and, get my books and get free and get educated because you're either growing or shrinking. We're contracting or we're expanding. Let's expand. Let's be larger than we ever thought possible. Have a vision. Think bigger than you've ever thought before because how can you expect something great to come in if you don't think big? Think huge. And then when you think huge, think even bigger than that and let yourself grow. Let yourself expand. Let yourself elevate and be happy and joyous and live the life of your dreams, what you want to live.
And there we have it. So I have to say, this has been an author of the hour of High Power with Jill. Jill, this has just been a kick. I mean, it's been fun. It's been enlightening. It's been innovative. You are wonderful to interview as an author. Certainly, I didn't have to pull anything out of you to make the hour go, and we could probably go another hour, but we don't have it. But I thank everybody. I thank you. I thank you for being here. I thank everybody for being with us. Come back. We still have another 5 days of the Festival of Storytellers and lots of roundtables, a lot more author interviews. And hopefully, Jill, you'll be with us for the finale roundtable on Sunday evening.
I will be there.
Because I will be hosting that, and
I just want to say something really quick because I saw a comment about somebody. When people try to use fear or guilt or suppression on you, it's just a tactic to try to lower you. Just recognize it and trust yourself and be true to yourself. It's when you agree to that, then you're giving your power away. Be like, no, I deserve to be treated with respect. I deserve better. I am not going to feed those people that are trying to make me feel bad. So stay in your truth and you will always win.
Thank you. Thank you for this author of the hour. Thank you for all who have joined us. Been a kick, been a lot of fun. And remember, here at Reader's Magnet, thank you, Jane. And at Reader's Magnet, we always say, we share your story with the world.
With the world.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. I can't wait to try your food recipes.
This is the Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 7. A virtual celebration of narratives that rise, ignite, and flow shaped by every force of life. Storytellers unite to weave tales, sparking imagination, blending voices, and forging bonds that linger beyond the final word. A storyteller steps into the spotlight, sharing their journey, their book's soul, and the magic within.
There's things in our lives.
Some stories set your soul on fire. Others carry you with waves of feeling deep.
So I was used to eating healthy, fresh
There are
food.
tales that ground you rich in tradition, anchored in truth.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
And some just
right
take
now.
flight playful, dreamy, defying gravity. Oops! That was loud, but so are these stories. Bold, awakening, brilliant.
For you.
This is not just a book fair, it's a universe of storytellers, creators and readers discovering the power of narrative together. Join the Festival of Storytellers Chapter 7 today. Share your voice, discover new worlds, and be part of a story bigger than any one book.